Hello everyone, I'm back, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. 2023 has been a year filled with many strange things caught on trail cams. From unidentified cryptid creatures to Bigfoot and to many other unexplainable phenomena. So I scoured the internet and put together a compilation of the most chilling and downright horrifying creatures caught on trail cameras this year. So grab your maximum fear coffee mugs and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap the scariest trail camera clips of 2024 Mega Compilation. The following mysterious video was released to the public on October 27th, 2023. It was taken by a trail camera that some hunters put up. The purpose of the camera was to monitor the nearby area and to see what kind of wildlife is out there. But one night at exactly 10:26 p.m., the camera caught this. An armed police officer is seen walking by. But 3 minutes later at 10:29 p.m. the trail cam was triggered again, and some massive predator is seen. This dark, hairy, bipedal beast slowly walks through the shot. It appears absolutely massive. It's very tall and very wide, estimated at a height of about 8 feet. Now, lots of details were left unknown about this footage, like where it was filmed and why the police officer was even out there in the woods in the first place. But online viewers speculate that maybe this police officer was being hunted down by this creature, and that's why he had his firearm ready. Because of the overall look of this supposed creature, most drew connections to Bigfoot. But skeptics weren't buying it and hypothesized that it was a man in a ghillie suit. However, because of how wide and tall it is, it's highly unlikely. And taking a closer look at this shot here of the being's arm, it's distinct, not like a human in a ghillie suit. It appears much larger than a human's arm. Anyways, what do you guys think? Definitely some very compelling evidence. The following video was posted to TikTok by user Cryptic on December 18th, 2023. It was taken by a trail camera mounted near a cemetery in the woods. Check out what it captured. Two strange, dark figures are seen crawling around on the forest floor. They are also seen standing up and walking at times. And while all this is happening, the small tree appears to be moving on its own. Taking a closer look, even though the footage is blurry, these dark creatures appear to have long hair on their heads. Whatever these things are, they're deeply unsettling. Because this trail cam is mounted near a cemetery, people began to bring up the paranormal and ghosts. They thought that these could be demonic spirits roaming throughout the night. But others say the creatures kind of resemble baby Bigfoots or something. But because this footage here is rather blurry, it looks like we'll never really get a clear look of what exactly they were, leaving us puzzled but also disturbed. A man by the name of Andrew Smith set out on a solo adventure into the deep Arizonian wilderness. He began his trek on December 23rd, 2023. He states that he's on a quest to try to find a Skinwalker, because he wants to see for himself because he doesn't believe that they're real. If you don't already know, Skinwalkers are said to be evil, shape-shifting spirits that reside on cursed land. They're called Skinwalkers because they often disguise themselves as wild animals or humans, so they essentially take their skin. And apparently this area here of Arizona has a history of Skinwalkers. Smith even spoke to some locals about some areas not to go. And of course, against their words, he went to the exact area that they told him not to go. They told him not to go here because it's reportedly cursed, and many people, including the locals themselves, have had encounters with the so-called Skinwalkers. As he reached this area, miles and miles away from civilization, something strange began to happen.
Hello? Hello?
A human-like voice is heard calling out for help. Considering he's extremely far away from civilization, there shouldn't be any people out there anywhere. This is when he decided to pack his things up and leave. Could this have been a potential skinwalker trying to pose as a human, trying to lure Andrew deeper and deeper into the woods, and maybe even into its territory? If so, who knows what would have happened if Andrew continued to follow this voice deeper into the woods.
What is that? Hello?
A man was out exploring by a bridge near his home. Supposedly the bridge has a dark history. It's supposedly haunted, as many people have had strange encounters near it, from disembodied voices to creature sightings and strange apparitions. But this night, this lone explorer took a trek out to see if the bridge really lived up to the legend, and it did. He walks around for a while until he hears a strange noise. He then pans his camera over to where the noise was coming from, and a pale, skinny creature is seen on the rocks underneath the bridge. It's on all fours crawling around. Right after this, the man sprinted away, not knowing what the heck this creature was and not wanting to find out at all. After analyzing the footage, commenters thought that this could be the infamous cryptid called the rake. The rake is supposedly an evil creature that preys on humans. The appearance of these beings are described as abnormally skinny and excessively pale, with long claws on the ends of its human-like hands. So could this footage here be real footage of the rake? Or is it simply a clever hoax? Let me know. The following was just released on January 3rd, 2024. A man was out in the woods hiking, just enjoying nature. He eventually reached a clearing that looked beautiful. It was an open field completely surrounded by trees on every side. He admired the breathtaking view and eventually snapped this photo here. And it wasn't until later that he realized something strange was amongst the trees. As he zooms far into the photo, a tall, dark creature is spotted right in front of the trees. It's covered in long black hair, and it appears to just be peering at the man. Skeptics immediately called out that it was possibly just a monkey or gorilla, but this creature is too tall and too skinny to be any primate. And its posture is human-like. Monkeys are not known to stand totally upright like this. And judging by the surrounding trees and foliage, the creature is estimated to be at a whopping 10 feet tall. Once again, skeptics took another shot at debunking this photo by stating that it could be simply someone in a costume. But how are they this tall then? And it also looks super realistic. Because of all of this information, people really believe that it was in fact a Bigfoot caught on camera. Maybe it was trying to blend in with the surrounding vegetation, but was ultimately unsuccessful. But I'll leave this one up to you, the viewers. Is this first Bigfoot sighting of 2024 legit? Let me know. This short video here is believed to come from a trail camera somewhere in Appalachia. It was uploaded to TikTok on October 23rd, 2023. As you may know, the Appalachian Mountains are filled with dense, unexplored wilderness, and many people who live in these remote areas state that they have had strange encounters on the land. This being said, take a look at this recent trail cam footage here. The first shot shows two abnormally skinny humanoid creatures slowly crawling around on the ground. The one in the front has something human-like hanging from its mouth. The second shot shows them briskly walking past, noticing the trail cam. Now this footage is just deeply unsettling. The way these creatures just move around is enough to give you nightmares. But commenters believe that these things here were skinwalkers, the demonic witch spirits that shapeshift and disguise themselves within the skin of humans and animals. But others think it could be some other kind of cryptid creature like the rake. Or maybe even something else. And because this was supposedly taken in the Appalachian Mountains, which as I said, have reports of creature sightings often, people believe it even more. Continuing on from the last topic, we're going to be taking a look at another clip coming from the Appalachian Mountains. According to TikTok user Shine Bright with Star, a woman was somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains when she came across something extremely creepy.
Caught this on video in February 2019 in the Appalachian Mountains.
The video taken in February of 2019 shows a strange figure in the distance. At first we can't really see what it is, but when we up the brightness and zoom in, a lady in an old dress is seen. But she doesn't look like any ordinary woman, as her face was featureless and pale. And taking a look at this shot here, she appears to be wearing some sort of hat on her head as well. Now keep in mind that this video was taken in a very remote area. There shouldn't be any other human life out there besides the videographer and her family. This led them to believe that it was indeed something paranormal, and the viewers believe so as well. Some speculate that they caught on camera one of the many spirits that reside here in the Appalachian Mountains and haunt the area. And according to the uploader of the video, there are a few rules that you must follow while you're in the Appalachian Mountains. Number 1. If you feel like something is stalking you, you're probably correct, but do not run and be sure to act calm. Number 2. Do not whistle in the woods. And finally, number 3, stay out of the woods after dark. A man named Jim Hammer documented this unexplainable encounter on November 13th, 2023. After experiencing what he experienced, he decided to upload it to Facebook to see if any of his friends had an answer, because he could not explain what happened. It took place in a forest. He was staying at a cabin located deep within this forest when he began to hear strange, otherworldly noises. Check it out. Deep growls and high-pitched whooping sounds began echoing through the forest. The vocal range of whatever this is insane. Humans cannot make noises that low and that high at the same time. Obviously, Jim Hammer had no idea what these noises could have been coming from, but online viewers felt like they had an idea. They speculate that these were Bigfoot vocalizations, as this is what Bigfoot is said to sound like. They supposedly make high-pitched whooping sounds and low guttural growls, just like what is heard in the video. But some say they think it could just be an animal like a moose or something. But what do you guys think? Because we never got to visually see where these noises were coming from, I guess it will forever remain a mystery. Taking a look at what could be one of the most compelling videos of Bigfoot ever. It was highlighted by Squatch Watchers on November 23rd, 2023, and this is what the caption states. It reads, "Giant Bigfoot caught on trail camera during missing persons investigation. Here's the footage." As you can see, what looks like a dark hairy beast is seen. You can tell by how broad the shoulders are that this thing is massive, and when we freeze the footage and take a look at the facial features, we can distinctly see a nose, a forehead, and eyes. The face matches up perfectly to what a Bigfoot's face is said to look like. And the footage is rather clear, making it way more convincing. And it appears this Bigfoot may have noticed and been intrigued by the trail camera, but was trying to hide at the same time. People are shocked by how human-like the face is. One commenter also states, "Out of the hundreds of Bigfoot videos I've seen, this one looks extremely similar to the one I encountered face-to-face in 1974 in Tennessee. Definitely some very convincing footage." Now throughout these videos I usually show disturbing otherworldly creatures caught on trail cams. But what about disturbing worldly creatures? Here's some footage of one of the most disturbing but known creatures of the world.
elegant, isn't he?
This is the Komodo dragon, a giant predatory lizard that can grow up to 10 feet plus. These dangerous predators are cold-blooded killers. They have sharp teeth, sharp claws, and can move very quickly. The specific shape of the Komodo dragon's teeth tends to cause rotten flesh to get stuck within their mouths, which causes their saliva to become filled with harmful bacteria. And if that's not enough, they also have a venom gland in their mouths. They produce potent venom that prevents their prey's blood from clotting. This could easily be fatal, as it would cause intense bleeding that wouldn't be able to stop itself. So even if you initially survive an attack from a Komodo dragon, you could easily succumb to your injuries even days later. And if this isn't all freaky enough, these animals can smell one single drop of blood from over 6 miles away. Using their massive forked tongues, they can essentially taste blood in the air. And that's what gives them this superpower. It's a trait that was developed for finding wounded prey. But now taking another look back at this video, it's very scary how close these people are to this apex predator. And they're lucky that it didn't attack any of them. And I also remember hearing a story one time about a man who was fatally attacked by a gang of these lizards and he was consumed by them. I'm pretty sure he fell out of a tree or something trying to pick apples and he cut himself. And a bunch of these lizards quickly picked up on the scent of his blood, and before you know it, he was gone. Just a very, very scary animal despite being a known creature of this world. The following quick video clip was taken by a trail camera mounted to a tree in the woods. This trail camera was first triggered by a small deer entering the shot, but as it's recording this deer here in the foreground, something weird is seen beside it. A strange, light-colored shadow makes its way towards the deer, then the footage cuts off. But as we can see, even the deer notices this presence, as it seems to be alert and seems to be watching it float towards it. And that's what makes this footage so compelling. We can't control how animals react to things. You can't hire an animal to be an actor in a staged video. This proves whatever this strange shadow was, it really was there in real time. But the real question is, what is it? Many lean into the paranormal realm for an explanation, saying that it was some sort of spirit that was passing through the woods. But skeptics don't know what to say about this one, and I'm sure the trail cam owner is just as puzzled as we are. Sticking with the ghostly theme, this photo was reportedly taken somewhere in Indonesia at a mining site, and it was taken by a man named Marta Chris. Take a look at the photo. As you can see, on this mining site surrounded by dense forest, a ghostly apparition is seen amongst the trees. Because the photo was taken somewhere in Indonesia, people quickly began to speculate that this could be the infamous pocong, a spiritual legend originating from Indonesian folklore. According to the YouTuber Slapped Ham, the pocong is also nicknamed the Shrouded Ghost. And what the pocong is exactly is the spirit of a deceased human that is still stuck within its burial attire. In the area in Indonesia, some are buried in these shrouds to protect their bodies. People who believe in the legend do this practice because they believe that their spirit remains in their bodies for 40 days after their death. But these shrouds are tied tightly around their heads, around their feet, and around their body multiple different times. And if these ties on the shroud do not release from the body before the 40 days are up, then the spirit will remain trapped on earth and will roam around as a so-called pocong, with a dark and decaying face within its robe. Due to the eerie look of the ghost, people often pin it as demonic or malevolent, but apparently that's not necessarily the case. Though seeing one of these beings would be an absolutely horrifying experience. But anyways, what do you guys think? Is this here a legit photo of one of these pocongs, or is there a possible worldly explanation? Taking a look at a very quick video clip coming from Squatch Watchers. It was released only a week ago. A man was hiking when he came across what he thought was a sasquatch. On top of the mountain is a dark creature. They zoom in closely on the creature and it appears too tall and too wide to be a human. but it's not a monkey or primate because they don't live in this region. Let me replay this footage again and take a look at the pine trees and do a comparison of the supposed Bigfoot and the trees. This reveals to us how massive this creature truly is, almost completely debunking the theory of a human or even a human in a costume. This is why the person who took the video and experts believe that this could be real, authentic footage of a Sasquatch or a Yeti. Starting the video off with a very creepy creature sighting taken by a late-night hiker. He was reportedly going for a night walk in the woods near his home. As he was on this walk, he began to hear some strange noises coming from deeper within the forest, and he had never heard noises like this before. He was intrigued, so he made the choice to descend deeper into the woods to try to find what was responsible for the eerie sounds. And eventually he found what was making the noises, but it was much more disturbing than he could have ever imagined. An elongated, pale, humanoid creature crawls slowly onto the path in front. The pale creature's back seems to be stretched out way longer than a human's. Its back also seems to bend inwards, and its hind legs are rather short, ruling out the possibility of this being a human. And after seeing this strange, otherworldly being, the hiker quickly made a run for it, fearing for his life. As this eerie footage circulated the internet, people drew connections to this infamous picture right here. This is the most famous picture of the so-called Skinwalker. The photo apparently comes from New Mexico and it was published on February 7th, 2014. As you can see, the creature from the hiker's video certainly resembles this Skinwalker here. So could this be exactly what it is? Or is it some other never seen before cryptid creature? Either way, a deeply disturbing encounter that will keep you from entering the woods ever again. Now I mean it when I say this here really could be some of the most convincing and clearest Bigfoot footage ever. People always say, how come every Bigfoot video is blurry? Well, this one isn't at all. Take a look. The video was originally released in 2021, and according to NVTV, the sighting comes from deep within the woods of Idaho. However, they never listed an exact precise location, but just look at this footage, it looks insanely real. Many experts took a look at the footage, and the main thing a lot of them pointed out was how long the arms are, and also the curved shape of the hand and wrist as it walks. They also discussed the defined muscle structure. Some even stated that you can see the calf muscle on its leg move as it walks, confirming it's a real, living creature. However, skeptics argue that this could be a man in a costume, but how could it possibly look this realistic with real working muscles? It's also substantially taller and wider than a human, estimated at least 8 feet tall. Taking all of this information into consideration, what do you guys think? Is this clear up-close footage of a real Sasquatch, or is it somehow all just a hoax? Taking a look at some captivating Bigfoot footage taken by a trail camera. It was posted to TikTok on December 10th, 2023. At first, the footage seems rather innocent, until suddenly what looks like the infamous Bigfoot emerges from behind the snowy trees. It appears this elusive creature didn't notice the trail camera until it was too late. The trail camera glitched a little bit as well, but this being was still very clearly videoed. If we take a closer look at this dark hairy creature, we can see its hair is very long on its entire body. But because of its dark appearance, we can't see any of its facial features, adding more mystery. And it also appears very wide and very broad at the shoulders, supposedly a typical trait of a Bigfoot. However, the location of where this footage was taken was never publicly released. However, it's hypothesized that it was taken somewhere in the northern region of the US. And it seems like more and more of these alleged Bigfoot sightings are popping up recently. Is it because technology is advancing and more trail game and security cameras are being put up? Or is it because the Sasquatch population is potentially increasing rapidly? This weird forest encounter has had the internet buzzing recently. A man named James Jones was hiking one day. He was walking by a particular area when something out of place caught his eye. Here's what he saw. He stops and records what looks like a tree man or something. He was freaked out and genuinely puzzled by what he was seeing. Zooming in and slowing the footage down, it almost resembles Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. Although it appears stationary throughout the footage, some online viewers claim they saw the creature move. The most likely theory is that it's just a really weird looking tree stump, but some are not convinced. But even if it is just a tree, it's still some insane footage. I mean, what are the odds a tree somehow formed this shape? Other commenters also speculate that it could be the work of something supernatural. Maybe the land itself is cursed and a spirit remains trapped inside this tree. Whether the explanation is worldly or otherworldly, it still makes for an interesting topic of conversation regardless. In the following footage, a lone man was going for a night walk. Night walks can be rather calming, with the cool dark setting and the peace and tranquility of no one being around. However, they can also be downright disturbing if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's exactly what happened to this man here in the footage. He was walking a rural road surrounded by trees on both sides. As he walked along, he began to hear some rustling noises coming from an opening in the woods near a light post. He neared closer and closer until something downright disturbing emerged. Out of the woods comes an abnormally skinny, extraterrestrial-looking being. It's pale with a rather large head and it's crawling on all fours quickly towards the videographer. Luckily, it wasn't moving super quickly, so the man was able to run away and escape with his life. Reportedly, he's still shaken up from the encounter to this day, and he does his best to stay away from this section of woods entirely. He also has no clue what the creature could have been. This is when online users and cryptid enthusiasts began doing research and realized that it resembled the alleged creature by the name of the rake. The rake is a cryptid creature that stalks and terrorizes humans, and they typically reside deep within the woods. They have long, pale bodies, dark sunken eyes, and claws like razor blades. They were given the name the rake because of the way they rake or scratch at their prey. However, despite all of the videographic and photographic proof of this creature, it has still not been officially classified by science, and that's why it's called a cryptid. But anyways, did this man really encounter the infamous rake on this late night walk? Let me know what you think in the comments. The following photo and footage is absolutely horrifying and is exactly why you should always be aware of your surroundings when you're in the woods, especially when you're alone. A couple of buddies were out on a camping expedition in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Everything was going good until a random hunter showed up to their campsite. The hunter then proceeds to warn them about lots of dangerous cougars in the area. The hunter then shows them this video that he captured 5 minutes ago, only 50 yards away from their campsite. A cougar is angry and is emitting menacing growls. The hunter couldn't figure out where exactly the noises were coming from, but he began making his way out of the area as quick as he could, making sure he was aware of all of his surroundings the whole time. Cougars and wildcats as such are notorious for pouncing when their prey is looking away, but luckily this hunter was on high alert and managed to escape this anxiety-inducing encounter. And you can see he was visibly shaken by the encounter as his hand is shaking violently at the end of the footage. After showing them this footage, he also showed them the following trail camera captures. They were from a few days ago and were taken approximately 400 yards away from their respective campsite. As you can see, 2 cougars are walking past the camera. Wildcats are extremely vicious and territorial, so it's best to stay away from them if you can. However, these campers here decided to stick it out and stay at the site, but luckily the cougars stayed away. Posted to TikTok on August 16, 2023, many have not seen this video. A father and son were reportedly outside one night when they began to hear some screaming noises coming from within the woods. So they ventured out into the woods to see if anyone needed help or something. And this is what they caught on their camera.
I heard something, dude.
What's that?
Go.
What looks like a floating, ghostly apparition can be seen. The father who recorded the video states, "We saw movement, then it froze in place." Let's take a closer look. When we zoom in, it looks like a little boy, but it's pale and has no facial features. This is why they think they ran into something paranormal that night. Online viewers further the story, stating maybe a young boy died tragically in this section of the woods, and now his ghost lives on and haunts the land. But others point out that since the alleged being is not moving, that it could just be a prop or maybe even part of the tree. It's unclear, so it looks like we'll be left wondering what it truly was that they saw. Starting the video off with a mysterious clip coming from Brazil. A group of locals were just off the coast of the small island Ilha do Mel on the seemingly normal day of January 5th, 2024, when suddenly something otherworldly was spotted in the mountains.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Ele parece, sabe, ele consegue captar as vibrações.
At first they're seen standing at the hilltop. Then one of the supposed extraterrestrial beings slowly walks down the hill towards the town.
Tá conseguindo ver ele ainda?
Aham.
Em direção a essa pedra aqui. É o gigante mesmo. Não, ele vai pra algum lugar, velho.
We get one final look as it crosses down behind the houses and disappears. The locals were in awe at what they were seeing and they couldn't believe it was real. And apparently the mountain that the alien beings were on is inaccessible to humans, and it would be practically impossible to traverse. So how could these creatures here be human? Experts estimate the height of these beings at approximately 10 feet tall. With all this being said, locals and online viewers strongly believe that these were real aliens. Definitely some very intriguing and disturbing footage to start off the year. In late July of 2023, a woman named Ashley would capture some truly disturbing footage on her home security camera. She has the camera to keep herself safe and ultimately to keep an eye on her property, but never did she think she would capture something like this. On this late night, her dog went out in the yard to do its business. And that's what initially triggered the motion sensor in the camera, which caused it to start recording. But take a look what happens next. As the dog walks out of the shot, a shadow appears. The strange shadow moves around and eventually floats towards the home. Ashley says, quote, "Notice how the shadow goes towards the light and then just mysteriously disappears," end quote. She lives in a more rural area in Jackson County, Kentucky, and that's where this footage takes place. And she personally believes that this figure was a ghost, and most online viewers believe as well. Considering that she lives in a more rural area, maybe the land was cursed many decades ago, and maybe it caused spirits to live here. Or perhaps something tragic happened on the land, like a battle or a gruesome death or something. Though we may never know the full backstory as to why this ghost was here, at least Ashley caught this videographic proof on her home security camera. A group of hikers were hiking along the Pilcomayo River in South America, in Tarija, Bolivia to be exact. But as they were hiking, one of the hikers decided to snap a photo of one of the other hikers, and they later realized that in the background of this seemingly innocent picture, something freaky was captured. This photo quickly went viral, not just in South America, but around the world as well. People are puzzled, and they dubbed this photo the alien from Tarija. Apparently, many trusted and very well-known ufologists and extraterrestrial experts are getting involved in this. They are in the process of reviewing and analyzing the photo to see if it's authentic or not. One specific ufologist stated that it does look like an authentic photo of a gray alien, but he says that further research is needed. And what makes this photo even more groundbreaking is the fact that Tarija, Bolivia is a supposed extraterrestrial hotspot. Locals state that the land is home to so-called alien portals, where these beings can come and go. Also, according to YouTuber Slaptam, in 1978, a big group of locals saw and reported a strange aircraft crash in this area. It was named the most credible UFO crash of South America by many. Even the military got involved and took a look at the crash site. Both the US military and the Bolivian military were involved. Considering the rich alien history of the area, this is why people strongly believe this is some sort of extraterrestrial creature. So what do you guys think? Is this area in Bolivia home to extraterrestrials? Let me know in the comments. This trail cam footage here intrigued me and I thought that I should share it with you all. It was taken on November 11th, 2023. The footage is rather blurry and it's hard to tell what's going on, but the caption reads, "Ghost caught on trail cam. Check it out." The footage showcases some sort of anomaly. A white shadowy figure seems to move quickly past the camera. Because it's so blurry, it's really hard to make out what exactly it was, but it is interesting. It appears partially see-through and shadow-like, ruling out the possibility of it being a human. The original poster says it looks like it's 10 feet tall. So very interesting footage for sure. Could this trail cam potentially be set up in a haunted area of the woods? Or is there a worldly explanation? This strange encounter occurred in Ecatepec de Morales, a city in Mexico. The incident occurred on December 19th, 2023, so very recently. Many locals saw this strange phenomenon as well, further confirming that this was a real encounter. When locals looked up into the sky, a strange UAP was seen. UAP stands for unidentified aerial phenomena.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso. Sí, güey. No mames, güey.
What the heck could this be? You can tell by the tone of the locals' voices that they are very puzzled and freaked out. It seems very authentic. But as we can see, the UAP almost looks like a sea urchin or something, but it's huge. It's large in size and has some sort of spikes coming off of it. Now, I've personally never seen anything like this before, and I honestly don't think anyone has, though commenters speculate UFOs and extraterrestrial beings. Could this be some sort of UFO controlled by aliens? This footage definitely leaves us with many unanswered questions. This up-close trail cam footage is crazy. Showcased by Outdoor Oklahoma on YouTube, it was taken on May 14th, 2022 at approximately 6:50 p.m. Watch as an infamous predator casually comes across this low-hanging trail cam. It seems this trail cam was strategically placed as it perfectly captures this alligator entering the pond. Seeing one of these dangerous and massive creatures so close up is breathtaking. Just look at the size of it. Obviously, as we all know, alligators are extremely dangerous, and they actually have the strongest bite in the entire world. Accompanied by the insane strength of their bites is the insane strength of their bodies as well. They are exceptionally strong, and oftentimes when attacking prey, they do this thing called the death roll. The death roll consists of the alligator completely spinning its body around while its jaws are locked onto its prey. It easily rips off limbs and gravely wounds their prey. But anyways, this violent creature looks so peaceful here in this footage, and that's what's so scary about it. This trail cam photo does not come with much background info. The whereabouts of the camera are unknown, but it was reportedly placed in a rather remote wooded area. This was taken by one of those trail cams that snaps pictures when motion and heat is detected. Then the photos are stored within the SD card inside. In order to view the photos, you must remove said SD card from the camera and then plug it into a device such as a computer, and that's when you can view the photos. And that's exactly what this trail cam owner did here, but as he was reviewing the various photos he caught, he was completely disturbed by this one. A robed figure holding a scythe is seen. Many speculate this was the Grim Reaper. The legend of the Grim Reaper comes from ancient lore. It is said to be a paranormal entity that collects human souls after they die. The Grim Reaper reportedly often shows up at sites of tragic deaths. It's reported to wear a black robe and hold a scythe, just like in this trail cam photo. Also, taking a closer look at the robed figure, we can see that there are no facial features. It's just a pale, blank face, making people believe even more that it is indeed something paranormal. Though skeptics think it could just be someone playing a prank on the trail cam owner, others are adamant that it's real. Because trail cameras are very stealthy and blend in very well. So how in the dead of night with no flashlight at all could someone somehow spot this camera? It really makes you wonder. The following footage comes from EMD 416. It was taken by a home security camera mounted near the front of their home. At first, the footage here seems relatively normal, showing their dog in the front yard. But watch what happens to the dog next. The dog completely vanishes into thin air. And I sped up the footage, but approximately 45 seconds later, the dog suddenly reappears down by the sidewalk. How could this even be possible? There's also a fence and gate, and when the dog reappears, it's on the complete other side. Many think that this was an alien abduction. They think that an alien spacecraft quickly came down and scooped the dog up, and then eventually decided to give it back. But others think it was a real-life glitch in the Matrix. They speculate that the dog entered a different dimension and then came back. Regardless of which theory is correct, the footage is deeply chilling. Taking a look at a crazy piece of footage coming from Mark Lauderhand on YouTube. He set up a trail cam last March right on the edge of a pond, in hopes to capture a specific predatory animal, and sure enough he got exactly what he asked for. Crazy up-close footage of a snapping turtle is seen. It slowly wanders through the leaves, making its way to a neighboring pond. Even though these turtles are rather slow, it's not the speed of its legs we need to watch out for. It's the speed of its bite. These animals can stretch their neck out super far when attempting to bite enemies. Also, fun fact, the snapping turtle has one of the strongest bites in the world. With their sharp beaks and quick reflexes, they can easily do lots of damage to humans. If one bit your finger, it would most likely take it clean off. But anyways, what a crazy up-close capture. And when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with snapping turtles. And one time I even caught a really big one with my bare hands, and it was about 25 to 30 pounds. One day I'll have to post a video about that. But anyways, enough about my love for snapping turtles, and on to the next clip. This video was captured by a stealth cam trail cam on October 28th, 2023. The trail cam owner, Jared Bernard, uploaded the video to TikTok with the caption, "Skinwalker caught on my trail cam. Check out his footage." The video shows a deer behaving very strangely. It gets up on its hind legs and walks around for quite some time, but it's most likely this deer isn't a skinwalker at all, as it seems it was just trying to get something to eat out of the tree above. Because skinwalkers are often linked to strange and eerie behavior from animals, this is why he speculated that it was a skinwalker. Because skinwalkers take the form of animals, but they're not actually that animal, so that's why they're known to act weird. But deer are known to do this sometimes to get food, so it's not too far out of the ordinary. Regardless, it's still some interesting and kind of weird footage overall. This sighting comes from a 43-year-old logistics manager, Matt Doherty. He and his friend Kevin Barrett were inside the safety of his home, just watching some TV and relaxing. It was a rather typical night for them at first, but what was happening outside of the home was far from typical. As they were watching TV, Matt got a notification on his phone. He pulled out his phone and read the alert, "Motion at your front door." This was sent to his phone from a security camera outside. And it was kinda late at night and he was curious, so he pulled out his phone and replayed the footage, and this was the last thing he expected. Something moving through the night sky set off his motion-detected camera. A strange UFO is seen. 3 lights in a triangular formation are seen moving together. Matt and his friend had never seen anything like this before, and they were very weirded out. They wanted some answers, so Matt contacted his dad because he knew that he's very knowledgeable on flights and planes in the area. He reportedly looked at various flight trackers, and sure enough, no planes were in the area at all at the time of the incident, adding much more mystery and credibility to the footage as well. What could this have been? Did Doherty's camera really capture a UFO that night? Some skeptics speculated Starlink, the satellite that we can see from Earth that kind of looks like a UFO. However, I have actually seen this satellite in real life and caught footage of it, and it looks nothing like this at all. The Starlink is a straight line with way more lights. It's not a triangle-shaped craft with 3 lights. This is something completely different.
Dude, that is so cool.
Is it planes or like?
No, it's
what
a
is
satellite.
It's the aliens. But
But
anyways, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. This footage here is horrifying. Bears are some of the strongest and fiercest animals on the planet. But what happens when these animals battle each other? News Flare on YouTube would answer that question for us with this insane footage. This HD up-close footage of this intense bear fight is captivating. It's so scary to see the immense power of these beasts. They just fight and fight, never giving up, pulling out chunks of hair and even flesh with their sharp claws and teeth. Such a truly gruesome fight. But eventually, after a very, very lengthy fight, the bears finally came to a stop and they walked away from each other. This footage really gives us an up-close look of the dangers of the wild. As I say often, nature is ruthless, and things like this happen all the time in the wild. We just don't get to see it much. But thanks to these photographers here, we saw this one. Taking a look at this quick clip of one of the deadliest creatures on the planet, specifically one of the world's deadliest spiders. Check it out. A man pokes a small stick at the spider web to act as an insect trapped within its web. The spider then comes out and attacks the stick. This is the northern tree-dwelling funnel web spider. It's commonly found in Queensland and New South Wales. The venom from these spiders can easily be fatal to humans. According to Wikipedia, 5 out of the 8 recorded bites result in severe, life-threatening symptoms and sometimes even death. And this guy here got his hand very close to this spider when he was trying to bait it with the stick. Definitely not something you should try at home. Stay safe and stay away from these spiders. Now, I came across this insane footage and I knew I had to show it to you all. It comes from back in 2018 on August 20th, taken by a CCTV camera mounted on a gas station. You won't believe what it captured. A strong storm was rolling in this day, and lightning began to strike nearby. But watch what happens as the storm is right on top of them. Now, you were probably expecting it to strike the gas station or something, but no, it struck this poor cow. It's unknown if this cow was okay or not after the strike, but wow, just some really crazy footage. And you can't really see the strike in the video, but you can see the cow just suddenly fall over and then all the other cows scatter away and run for their lives. A fun and random fact from Maximum Fear, my great-grandpa actually got struck by lightning not once but twice, and he survived both. Kinda crazy, I'd say. Taking a look at a video that was captured on Christmas Day of 2023. A group of friends were outside when suddenly a bright light appeared over them in the night sky. They quickly looked up above, and when they saw what it was, they took out their phones and immediately began recording. Take a look at this strange UFO video.
Is that fool? Boy, that dropping on Earth. Whoa! Hey, bro, it's gonna start shaking. Hey, bro, that might be a plane, fool.
As you can see, some sort of craft is on fire and it's plummeting towards Earth. It's a very odd shape and doesn't appear like any aircraft from our planet. And the men recording are freaking out and have no idea what it is. But right after this, they began to notice some more strange happenings in the sky. Check it out.
No, that's not even stars, they're actual
Moving again, it's moving again.
things, bro. It disappeared. Oh, there you go.
Realize,
How fast they're
but
moving.
look how fast it's moving. Boy, it's going straight down.
Following each other, cuz.
What looks like 2 stars are seen, but one of them begins moving around super fast and begins blinking strangely. Because of all of this, it was speculated that the craft that was plummeting towards Earth was a crashing UFO, and then the other objects that were seen in the sky were UFOs that weren't crashing. Also, the authentic reaction of the videographers is what is making people believe. You can tell that they're genuinely shocked and at all at what they're seeing. Some skeptics speculated that it could be a rocket, but it doesn't look like any rocket to me. And also, how can you explain the other UFOs in the sky at the same time? This video doesn't come with much context. However, we know it was taken in 2023 in a different country. The video shows 2 men on the side of the road and they have stumbled across some sort of otherworldly creature.
Olha lá, meu Deus do céu, cuidado, Marcelo, cuidado! Rapaziada do céu, olha lá. Mano do céu, que merda é aquilo ali, mano? Olha lá. Mano, cuidado, viado, ele tá tentando.
The footage is eerie, showing a small half-human, half-animal looking being. The man on the top of the grass is even seen trying to communicate with it. The creature has small, skinny legs, but its face and body almost resembles a boar or something, and it's also wearing some kind of shirt. Because of the little information provided, we can't necessarily tell if this is a hoax or not. However, commenters ran rampant with potential theories. The most widely believed was that this was some sort of goblin, the small, grotesque-looking monster that hails from ancient European lore. Goblins are supposedly evil, savage creatures, and they look to scare and terrorize humans and everything in their paths. So did these men come across a real-life goblin? Or is it simply a hoax? Now this footage has been terrifying viewers. It all started when a man began filming an innocent bike test. He had recently purchased a new bike and wanted to test it out on camera.
This is just a quick bike test. I'm trying out my new TT bars, my triathlon bars.
He explains that he's going to ride the bike back and forth on this road really quickly. So that's what he does. But pay attention to the tree line in the background as he rides. He does the bike test but has an unexpected spectator. A very tall, lanky man strides down the path. He appears unnaturally tall and thin. And the whole time the biker is completely unaware.
Right, that's that.
It wasn't until later, upon reviewing his footage, that he recognized the eerie sight. Some speculate that this was a malevolent spirit, and others drew connections to Slenderman, the urban legend of a freakishly tall, faceless man that wears a suit. Skeptics say that it was just a tall, skinny man, but the way it walks and how long its legs are tells us that it's not from this world. Uploaded to TikTok on January 7th, 2024, a man would capture some very mysterious footage. He was all alone on a remote island when it seems he saw something he was not supposed to see. A fleet of 6 flying saucers fly through the evening sky, followed by a gang of helicopters close behind. It appears they're chasing after these UFO crafts, probably in an attempt to shoot them down or capture them. And the footage is very clear. We can clearly make out flying saucer-like aircrafts. It's assumed the government or military spotted these UFOs on CCTV watch cameras and then immediately sent out aircrafts to try to apprehend them. Definitely a very crazy and clear UFO capture. A stealth cam trail cam was mounted to a tree in the woods to capture footage of the local wildlife. And on the night of July 22nd, 2022, that's exactly what would happen. An absolute unit of an elk walked right into the shot, triggering the motion and heat sensor in the trail cam, causing it to record. Even though this is a known animal, it doesn't stop it from being scary. The way the eyes glow, accompanied by the massive size and huge antlers, this thing just looks eerie. Even though the footage is up close, it still doesn't do the animal justice. These elk are 5 feet tall at the shoulder on average, with some growing much taller, and they can weigh between 700 and 1,100 pounds. And only the male elk, known as bulls, have the antlers. The female elk, known as cows, have an average height of about 4.5 feet at the shoulder. And they weigh only between 500 and 600 pounds, so they're significantly smaller than the bulls. But the bull elk caught on this trail camera here is such a cool but also scary sight. Carrying on with the theme of the last clip, here is another clip of a bull elk caught on a trail camera. The elk begins scratching its antlers on this tree. You can see how much power these animals possess here. Just its head moving up and down like that caused the tree to move like crazy. But then it turns and begins screaming. You would think that an animal that huge and masculine would make a deep roaring sound, but no, it's the complete opposite. We can also see the size a little bit more in this video when we compare it to the trees beside. And that's why this made the list of the most disturbing creatures caught on trail cameras of 2024. An onlooker noticed something strange off in the distance near the cave entrance, so he zoomed in with his phone and that's what he caught. A strange, tall man is seen. And when we zoom in and take a look at it in infrared, it really makes it apparent how massive this human is. The cave entrance definitely goes down at least a few feet, so this man has to be freakishly tall. Many are saying this is a real-life giant that resides within the cave. Nobody knows how or why he's there, but apparently he is. And there have also been other similar reports near this area in Mexico as well. People claim to see a giant up in the mountains. Other than that, not much is known behind the video, but what is known is that it's very scary. As you may know, there has been lots of talk about Miami, Florida recently. Supposedly, lots of alien and UFO encounters and sightings have been coming from the area. From the Miami Mall incident, which I'll talk about in the following clip, and to many other strange UFO sightings and phenomena. That being said, take a look at this unexplainable footage captured on January 5th, 2024, in the night sky of Miami.
Oh, y'all see those lights? Look at them. Not them little ones because my little mirror thing floating. Oh my, bruh, look at that.
3 star-like objects appear to be moving throughout the sky in a triangular formation. Then they begin to rotate into different patterns, but they stick together. Just a very strange sighting. And in my last video I posted, I included another clip of a UFO that looked very similar to this one. Check it out. Why are these kinds of unidentified flying objects popping up all over the US, and specifically in Miami? Could we potentially be under the attack of aliens from another planet? And that's why all this is happening? Continuing on with this topic, let's take a look at the next clip. Continuing on with more Miami, Florida footage, and this is the footage that went the most viral. The story apparently goes like this. It all occurred at the Miami Bayside Mall on January 1st, 2024. What a way to kick off the new year. Late this night/morning, residents were enjoying the peaceful night, when suddenly a huge number of cops showed up to the mall and blocked off the whole road. Nobody knew what was going on at the time, and they were freaked out. And also, it was reported that for a few days after this incident, lots and lots of flights to and from Miami were canceled or either delayed, for reasons unknown. Authorities later came out and stated that the reason for this big commotion was because 4 teenagers snuck into the mall and broke in and began stealing things. But because of how many police cars and officers showed up, Miami residents and online viewers began to speculate that the police and government were trying to cover something up. Because why the hell would you ever need this many police cars for only 4 children breaking into a mall? It just doesn't make sense. And why were there so many flight cancels and delays? And as this speculation was going on, a piece of footage emerged. The blurry footage shows what looks like an extremely tall gray figure walking along the sidewalk, with police cars piled up at the scene. People were quick to call this an alien and figured that's why the police and government were trying to cover this up. Because we can't get an extremely clear look at this being, we'll never know exactly what it was. But experts say it's estimated at an approximate 9 to 10 feet tall. Allegedly, some people who were around the mall and around the scene of the crime at the time reported sightings of tall, unidentified life forms. So could this be the answer as to why there was such a big commotion? Was there really an alien on the loose? It looks like we may never know. The following video was just taken on January 25th, 2024, so only a few days ago. It comes from a small rural town in Ohio. A man named John was out for a late night drive when he decided to park at the end of a desolate neighborhood road right by a field. He typically stops at this spot and listens to music and just relaxes and enjoys the quiet nighttime nature. But this time something chilling would happen. After being parked there for a few minutes, he began to notice something strange. A pale, otherworldly being was lurking. First, it peers around the tree right into the soul of the driver. And when it notices it has been seen, it quickly crawls away back into the field. Taking a closer look, the creature has a light coloration, but it has dark features. It seems its eyes are sunken and non-existent. This still shot here was supposedly taken by John's dashcam as well. John recalls, out of the many times I have gone to that spot, I've never seen anything like that. It traumatized me, and I haven't been back there since. And a lot of people asked me why I didn't follow the creature, but I felt like I was in danger and didn't know what the hell was going on, so I put it in reverse and sped away. Many cryptid enthusiasts guess that the creature could have been the rake, the supposed dangerous, grotesque-looking creature with sharp claws, as this is exactly what it's said to look like. Others discuss skinwalkers as being a potential answer. Nonetheless, John is adamant that this was indeed a real encounter, and that what he saw was not a creature of this world. This horrifying dashcam video comes from TikTok user Bipedal. A group of friends were traveling down a densely forested road in the late hours of the night, when suddenly they came across this.
What the?
Stop.
No,
Stop.
No. Hell no.
What the? Dude.
Bro.
They were soaked.
They round the corner and a woman completely soaked from head to toe is seen, waving her arms strangely. She's facing away from the road. The driver and passengers were extremely frightened, but collectively decided to drive back around to see if the woman was all right.
There she is, there she is, there she is.
Bro, what the See? That was it! That was it! She's crying.
This time, she's lying motionless in a puddle of water, crying. Judging by the genuine reactions of the friends, we can tell this encounter is real. Is she in distress, or is this a trap to lure in innocent drivers, or is it something paranormal? It was never made known if they contacted the authorities about this. However, the next morning they woke up and took a trip back to that exact same area, and this is what they found.
This was the spot that she had left. I don't know why or what was going on. Yep, she had to have come up out of the water. Yep, there's a dig spot there. That's had to have been why she was so wet.
A puddle still remains in the road, with some dig spots and footprints coming up from the lake below. Now this whole encounter is like something straight out of a horror movie, and what was truly going on remains unclear. But most believe she was some sort of deranged woman, perhaps a killer, or maybe she was possessed. Or maybe she was a skinwalker that had emerged from the lake. The uploaders say they're still shaken up from the encounter to this day, and they have absolutely no clue why it happened. This eerie and unexplainable dashcam clip comes from near the Quemahoning Reservoir in Pennsylvania. The man who wishes to remain anonymous captured the footage on his way home from a fishing trip at the reservoir. The particular stretch of road he was driving was far from civilization and was completely consumed by dense forest. And as he drives, his dashcam eventually picks up something bone-chilling. A tall, dark creature is seen walking alongside the road. It appears to be holding some sort of lantern in its right hand. Pausing the video and zooming in on this being, we can see it's shockingly tall. And it almost looks like a Bigfoot or something. But as the footage began to circulate, locals thought they knew exactly what the creature was. They stated that it was the Lantern Man of the Quemahoning Dam. The Lantern Man of the Quemahoning Dam is a supposed malevolent entity that roams the reservoir. According to the Quemahoning Paranormal Group, the Lantern Man is most often encountered as a distant and out-of-place red light. The red light comes from his lantern that he carries around. However, some have even had up-close encounters with this creature. Only a handful of people have actually seen this creature up close, but they all described him as having glowing eyes and a skeletal-looking body covered in mud. The origin of the Lantern Man comes from when a man tragically drowned in the reservoir. After the drowning, strange sightings began to occur on and around the remote land. The first sightings of this infamous entity began in 2013. However, this footage here was taken on May 7th, 2020. So it seems the Lantern Man still remains prevalent to this day. A woman was minding her own business driving down Skyline Boulevard in Oakland, California. This all occurred on July 26, 2023. And at first, the footage looks relatively normal, as she trails behind a white Dodge Charger. But suddenly, the footage takes a turn for the worst.
Come on now, quit around. No!
The car in front suddenly comes to a stop and parks diagonally in the road, blocking the woman from going past. Then two armed, masked men jump out of the car and rush her vehicle. One of the men tries the driver's side door, but luckily her doors were locked. This is when she takes off and barely makes it through the gap between the car and the roadblocks. She escapes with her life. Even though she was startled and completely caught off guard by the attack, she was still able to keep her cool and think fast and get herself out of harm's way. And it's assumed the men were attempting to rob the woman and take her vehicle, but they could have had more sinister intentions in mind as well. It was never announced if the criminals were ever caught. Coming from Mexico, this dashcam footage is nothing short of a real-life nightmare. Like a lot of these clips, a man was traversing a dark and desolate road in the very late hours of the night. As he drove down the road, he passed a woman in all white with dark hair. He beeped at her, but she did nothing, so he continued driving. However, he decided to turn back around and begin recording.
Esa es mi preocupación. O sea, si era una persona normal, no estoy diciendo que sea otra cosa. Miren, miren, miren. sé si va caminando al revés o va caminando bien.
The encounter goes on for 4.5 minutes straight. This robed woman continues walking down the road slowly until eventually she wanders back into the forest.
Creo que ya se dio cuenta que estoy aquí.
The man is confused as to why a lone woman would be walking around a rural road at this hour, especially in that attire. Because of the appearance of the woman and the fact that this was taken in Mexico, locals and online viewers began to speculate that this could be La Llorona, also known as the Lady in White, a malevolent spirit that is said to reside in Mexico. The ghostly spirit is said to have long dark hair and wear a white dress or robe just like the one in the dashcam footage. She's supposedly a bad spirit that seeks to lure people and especially children out into the woods, where she hurts them or even worse. With all of this being said, could this here be the Lady in White? Let me know what you all think in the comments. This mysterious dashcam video doesn't come with much context. Some people were driving down a dirt path when a worried man comes running down the path and warning them not to go any further, but they go further anyways, and this is what they see. It's hard to make out what exactly is going on, but to me it looks like some sort of creature is trying to eat an animal or something. We can see something living, struggling to move, and it has something wrapped around it. Even though we can't really tell what exactly is taking place, it's definitely not something good. What do you guys think is going on? Let's watch the clip again and let me know what you think. Also, this video was released on May 17th, 2023. Taking a look at a video that was highlighted right at the start of the year. Not much background information was provided. However, we can see a man is driving down a busy highway. What happens next is truly eerie. As he drives, a ghostly woman materializes before his eyes. She seems to be sitting atop the barrier on the shoulder of the road. Slowing the video down and looking closer, the woman is in a white dress. She has long black hair and her face appears to be a grayish color. Because of the way she appears into thin air, the driver believes he encountered something paranormal, in particular the Lady in White. Commenters offered up different theories as to why she was on this highway in particular. They thought that it could be the ghost of a woman who tragically died in a car accident on this road, and now her spirit remains at the site of her accident. Despite having little background information, it's still very hard to debunk, because it looks very real and also very disturbing. This video occurred on a dirt road far from civilization. A group of friends were driving around doing some late night exploring when they came across something that would make them regret coming out altogether. Take a look. Some humanoid creature with a bright red face and long hair is seen. The footage is a little blurry, so it's kinda hard to make out, but when we zoom in, we can see the body seems human, but doesn't at the same time. And judging by the reactions of the explorers, we can tell they're downright disturbed, and viewers are disturbed as well. Commenters immediately suspected this was a Skinwalker, a malevolent shapeshifter that hails from Native American legends. If you don't already know what a Skinwalker is, it's a supposed shapeshifting witch that can take the form of humans and animals. They're often said to have an eerie appearance and strange behavior. So did these explorers come across a Skinwalker on this remote path? Your guess is as good as mine. Now this video here doesn't come with much context, but it's just downright creepy. But we do know it surfaced the internet on TikTok on December 9th, 2023, and it comes from Toronto, Canada. Take a look. A woman walks along the sidewalk until she runs into an older looking woman. At first she seems pretty normal, but as the video goes on and she gets closer and closer to the woman, we realize how scary she looks. Her face is just so off-putting, and she just stares into the woman's soul as she walks by, not breaking eye contact once. And she never blinks, not once. Considering that no backstory was given, we can only draw conclusions. Was the videographer going for an innocent night walk when she stumbled upon this woman, this deranged woman, or was this just simply staged? Your guess is as good as mine. Posted to TikTok on Christmas Day of 2023, this is everyone's worst nightmare. The caption of the video reads, "First night home with our newborn baby. Take a look at what unfolds while they sleep." First, the baby swing begins rocking all on its own. At the same time, a few orbs appear to fly past the security camera. The rocking starts out slow and becomes more and more violent as the footage goes on, until finally the Christmas tree lights flicker on and off all on their own, all while the baby swing is seemingly dragged across the wooden floor. The whole time, the homeowner sleeps through the encounter. The homeowners were absolutely shocked and puzzled when they reviewed the security footage that next morning, and they still have no clue what to make of it. The following clip comes from Allentown, Pennsylvania. On the initially calm night of November 27th, 2023, something extremely worrying would happen, and many residents captured the phenomenon on camera as well. It was dark out when suddenly the sky changed drastically.
Oh, you're recording this? Oh, the lights, the traffic lights is out too. Oh my god. Yo. What is going on? Yo, that's whoa.
What?
In the blink of an eye, the sky becomes extremely bright and begins blinking different colors. Let's take a look at another piece of footage taken by another Allentown resident.
What the is going on, man? Look, the world falling apart.
What is this eerie phenomenon? Now at first it may appear like the world is ending or that we're under attack of extraterrestrials or something, or perhaps a glitch in the Matrix. But I dove deep and did more research, and it turns out the explanation is not quite as scary as we thought. Apparently, very close to the area where these videos were recorded, an electric substrate station caught on fire, and this fire caused extremely bright and powerful flashes of light. And these flashes somehow completely lit up the night sky. It was also reported that approximately 8,000 residents lost power as a result of this electrical fire. So finally, some footage that has a likely worldly explanation, but regardless, it's still made for some very frightening footage. On January 10th, 2024, a disturbing piece of footage would be uploaded to the internet. A deep-sea submarine was deep within the ocean, when suddenly something extremely massive emerges.
When she rolls over the... Oh! Wow! My goodness! Where's my phone?
It's a massive shark. The size of this underwater creature is unfathomable, but the scariest part is when it circles back around and swims by again.
That is amazing.
Look at the eye on this thing. It almost looks human. I never realized that sharks have eyes like this. The man in the video is also heard stating that the shark is definitely longer than the entire submarine. I mean, it had to be 20 foot plus, right? And I'm not a shark expert, so I don't know exactly what kind of shark it is. So if any of you know, let me know in the comments down below. But wow, such a breathtaking but also bone-chilling deep-sea encounter. Now this clip here is a special one. It was taken towards the end of the summer of 2023 by my dad. He was out in the backyard when he looked over towards the house and he noticed something strange. He then moved closer and began filming. This is the spider versus the bee. Despite the bee being bigger than the spider was victorious in this battle. It trapped the bee within its web and it couldn't free itself from the trap. Watch as the spider begins wrapping the bee up and eating it. Videos like this are always so interesting to me, and the fact that it was taken by my dad makes it all the more special. A homeowner shared with his neighbors some truly eerie footage taken by his Ring doorbell camera, and when the neighbors saw the footage, it was so disturbing and weird that he decided that he had to upload it to the internet. The neighbor goes by the username Protomancer on Reddit. We can see what looks like a human or some creature crawling around through the yard. And it was really late at night, so what kind of person would be crawling through a stranger's yard like this? If you think about it, they would really be putting themselves in serious danger by doing this. This is why some believe it wasn't human at all, and instead it was a skinwalker or maybe some sort of other cryptid creature. Whether it's a dangerous person or a skinwalker crawling through the yard, either one is scary. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like buttons, Mom. Let's aim for 2,000 likes for another one of these trail camera videos. And if you want to get to know me more, you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, MaxwellFear. You can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, MaximumFearYT. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel because only 16% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed, and be sure to hit that bell as well so you don't miss when I upload. And also feel free to check out my merch, it's in the description down below. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.